Hi, everybody. It's been a while since I picked up the brand new Wings compilation that's come out this year, but I have listened to it, and I'm a little late with this, but I want to give you my impressions of what I think of this listing that they have here of these songs, and which songs I might personally have taken off and which songs I might have put on instead. Now, everyone's got their opinions, and this is the kind of thing subjective. Everybody likes some songs. Everybody thinks that some songs would be better suited to this. Some people would think that certain songs should be removed, etc., etc. So I'm going to give my 3 cents. Okay. So first of all, I was listening to this. It's a 2 CD set. I do not have the vinyl. I don't know yet if I'm going to even bother getting the vinyl. If I do, it'll be the color vinyl edition. I will say that I very much like the clear disc that I've seen on the colored vinyl that people have shown. But I don't know. As I've said, these days I'm not really fanatical about getting everything. But we'll see. I may get that. Well, the listening experience overall for this was very, very enjoyable. I listened to it on a long car ride, and it was perfect for that situation. And when I started it off with the first of 2 CDs, right away I was blown away. I was blown away by the sound quality, which I thought was generally pretty great and pretty consistent on this release. And I love the choice of tracks to start off with. But we did hit a complete stumbling block as we listened, and I'll talk about that. All right, it starts off with Band on the Run, the great hit. And it's a perfect opener. I mean, it's kind of familiar because we're used to it opening up the 1973 album, but it fits because we're talking about the band Wings, and introducing them as the Band on the Run is pretty good and very potent. So Band on the Run, a great opener. Second track is High, High, High. We just keep right away banging along. Then we go to Silly Love Songs, which is track 3, well situated in here, I thought. Then we get track 4, Letting Go, one of my favorites of all Wings songs. People say they like the live version of Letting Go better. Not me, I much prefer the studio version. And it sounds more enhanced than ever here, where I thought I heard, the Denny Lane bits even more in here, and the band kind of like in the back harmonizing. Anyway, loved the sound of it. Track 5 was 1985. Sounded great and really well placed here. Track 6, we have Live and Let Die. Another great rocker, classic Wings song, classic McCartney song. And those first 6 tracks were so beautifully done. And one after the other. What a array of just great tunes. Nothing there to bring the party down. Then we get to track 7, which was a track from the Band on the Run album called Mamunia. Now, I'm not here to bash the song Mamunia. I actually think it's okay. There were a lot of Mamunia haters out there. I'm not one of them. It's an okay song, not anywhere near one of my favorites, but I've never minded it. In its place on the Band on the Run album, but here it's a dead stop, a dead halt. Mamunia is a drag on this album, and I would replace it. Now, you're going to ask me what I would replace it with? By the way, when I do this, I'm not going to necessarily pick songs from the same album. Like, I'm not going to pick another Band on the Run substitute for a Band on the Run track. I'm just going to tell you a song that I think I would put here instead. This song is also a slow song. It kind of stops things, but it's the song Tomorrow. The great song Tomorrow. Probably the best song on the Wildlife album. If you're going to slow things down a bit, and there's nothing wrong with that, per se. Although I think so far the general feel of this album is a charged electric one. Tomorrow is a beautiful song, and if I'm going to have something go quieter, bring the party a little low, I'd rather have Tomorrow. Okay, then we go to track 8. We lift it up again with Junior's Farm, the rocker. A great single. I love it. One of my all-time favorites in Paul McCartney solo canon and Wings. Junior's Farm, what I appreciate here is they thankfully use the single version, the complete single version, not the DJ edit, because the DJ edit missed a line. and I think it was on the Wingspan album where they put Junior's Farm, the edited version. Thankfully, they got the line here about Ollie Hardy. Should have had more sense. That line is here, and about is that the one? I think so. Yeah, and the House of Parliament. Everybody's talking about the president. We all chipped in for a bag of cement. Yeah, that line is here. Thank goodness. Then we go to track 9, Helen Wheels. Helen Wheels has never been a favorite of mine, but you have to overlook that sometimes in some cases. Helen Wheels belongs here, and it still keeps the charge going. I love the way we're listening to this album, and to me, for the most part, like I said, it's a rocker. It's Wings with balls. This is not just sappy stuff for the most part. Now, we get to track 10, and I think I was let down again when we got to the track Some People Never Know, which was on the Wildlife album. And I'm not here to knock Wildlife because I appreciate Wildlife. I always say Wings Wildlife, to me, is underrated. It's a nice change for Paul at the time, a little more raw, a little more home style. Okay, but Some People Never Know just didn't feel right to me on this compilation. So I'm switching that with the single Give Ireland Back to the Irish. By doing that, we get a little more, again, rocking, a little more intensity here, stronger track. Also, we get a little bit of a political commentary, so we can throw a little of that in here. I don't know if that's why it was left off the album in the first place, but that helps. So Give Ireland Back to the Irish is my replacement for Some People Never Know. Track 10. Okay, now we go to track 11, and it's the hit single Let 'Em In from Wings at the Speed of Sound, which I think is always a fine track. Now we go to 12. This is one of my biggest objections about this compilation. I am not a big fan of the album Red Rose Speedway, never have been, and track 12, the track Get on the Right Thing, really, I can't stand that song. I'll be honest with you, I do not like that song. Get on the right thing, get on the right thing, get on the right. Get off the thing already, okay? I'm not a fan of Get on the Right Thing, but I'll tell you what I replaced it with. Track 12, another song from the Red Rose Speedway album, the opening track, more fun and energetic. Big Barn Bed. How about that? If you want to have a track that kind of like, fun and zippy from that album, how about Big Barn Bed? So that's what I put that had in there. That track 13, Jet. What can you say? Jet is a great rocker, and it belongs here. Track 14, My Love, the beautiful ballad from Paul, classic, belongs here. And we close out the first disc with Call Me Back Again, which has that New Orleans kind of flavor to it, which I really love that song. A lot of people probably would change that. I'm thinking a lot of people would not want Call Me Back Again from Venus and Mars on this album. I think it's fine. And I also think it's particularly a fine, strong way to end disc 1. So Call Me Back Again stays. So I made 3 changes out of 15 tracks on disc 1. Let's go over to disc 2. Disc 2, I made 5 changes, a little bit more. Okay, first we start out with, thankfully, a song from Back to the Egg. It's not forgotten. Back to the Egg, the underrated album, is not forgotten. Getting Closer. It's the song that starts off the album, Back to the Egg, and it's so good the way it comes charging in there. It's assaults your senses with a rocker. Love it. Second track, very well placed. Listen to What the Man Said. I love it. Third track, I've Had Enough from London Town. Glad to see that that's included here. It's a forgotten song, but it's a nice little, rock ditty, if unremarkable. Still good. Here's my first change here. Track 4, Love is Strange. Going back again to the Wildlife album. Love is Strange is a cover, for one thing. I don't think we need that here. And I don't know. It just I'm okay with the Wings version of Love is Strange. Nothing against it. Just don't think it really works on this compilation. Instead, I went with a favorite. I know it's a fan favorite. I went with Daytime, Nighttime Suffering. Okay, how's that? That's a favorite. I still think it's the closest that Paul's come to disco. A lot of people disagree with that, but it's got the drum, boom, 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 boom. I don't know. That's not 100% disco, but it's really a good tune, a good B-side, so to speak. It's track 4. Then we go to track 5, London Town, the opening song. I'm going to let it stay. I like the song London Town. Does it fit on here? I don't know, but I'm not going to quibble with that one. I think that's fine. London Town, track 5 stays. Then we go to track 6, Arrow Through Me. I love that song. Perfect. But the only quibble I would have is maybe I think you have having the track London Town and the track Arrow Through Me back to back. I think you might have two kind of like mellow songs together. Maybe you need to shake them up a little bit, maybe rearrange the order somewhere, but the track stays, Arrow Through Me. Now I have another change. Okay, track 7, we get the Venus and Mars / Rock Show edit. And while that's very important, I think that Venus and Mars is very important to the song, to Wings, and I think Rock Show is very important to Wings, emphasizes their stadium shows, big shows that they did in the 70s. But at the same time, I don't like this version because it's the cheat version, the edited version. So we got to cheat here, you know. So because it's the edited version of Venus and Mars Rock Show, I'm going to replace it with a rocker, another rocker. If you can't get Rock Show, I'm going to replace it with another rocker. Beware My Love from Speed of Sound. All right, so Beware My Love, I think, is a favorite of a lot of Wings fans, and that's going to go in there. I'm just noticing somewhere that I made a bit of an error here, possibly. Let me just pause this. Okay, sorry about that. Initially, I said that I made 5 changes here. Let's make that 6 changes, because I crossed off track 8, which is She's My Baby. She's My Baby, another cute little song that I like. I enjoy it. Don't dislike it. You know, don't dislike the song. But again, it's so weak compared to what else is on here. But the mistake I made is I did not have a substitute. So I'm going to go back to the Egg album, and I'm going to say, instead of She's My Baby, let's put on Old Siam, Sir. Okay, that's a big difference in tempo, that's for sure. But if you want to keep it, I'm going to cheat here a little bit. If you want to say that's a little too heavy right here, I'll go with Cafe on the Left Bank, a favorite track that I like from London Town. So She's My Baby's off, and we'll substitute either Old Siam, Sir, or Cafe on the Left Bank for that one. Next we have track 9, Bluebird. I think there were too many tracks here off the Band on the Run album, the great though it is. Way too many tracks from Band on the Run on here. And Bluebird, I'm going to substitute. You ready for this? Some people are not going to like this. Rockestra Theme. I think Rockestra Theme belongs on here. It's really balls to the wall rock. Of course, it features a lot of great rockers, celebrities that were guests on that track. They became the Rockestra band. And it did win an award, Rockestra Theme. So put that on there as track 9 in place of Bluebird. Now we have a track that really baffles me that it's on here at all. Out of all the decisions on this compilation, this one absolutely baffles me the most. It's the song that I can't stand. The only song here I really don't like, Deliver Your Children. Deliver Your Children is a Denny Lane representation here. And I think we should represent Denny. So I thought to myself, well, out of all the Denny Lane songs, what's a Denny Lane track vocal that I would like here? And I thought, how about Time to Hide? Time to Hide off Speed of Sound, which I'm going to continue to call more or less Wings at the Speed of Sound. That's another debate out there in the community. But Time to Hide replaces Deliver Your Children for track 10. Track 11 is Let Me Roll It, perfectly belonging and deserving of being here. Track 12, Mull of Kintyre, the classic, big hit, has to be here. Track 13, Wildlife, the title track. And I'm going to keep it because even though it's unconventional and everything, I love the way Paul screams that song out. And I would say with my track listing here being what it is, that's the most offbeat song on the album, my compilation. So 13, we'll keep Wildlife. 14 is Sea Moon. A lot of people would love to axe that off here. Paul's got a real obsession with that song. For some reason, he loves Sea Moon. And it's a very, very stupid and silly song, but I can't deny it's catchy as hell. And I'm going to leave it. I'm going to leave Sea Moon as track 14. Then we have track 15, With a Little Luck, the hit. Very, very good. Okay, With a Little Luck stays. Now, this next track, 16, is going to disappoint a lot of you Wings fans. It's the track Soily, which I have decided to scratch out and throw away into the soil. Why? Well, I think, first of all, because there's not an official real studio version of it. You have the one-hand clapping version on here, which is very good. I like the one-hand clapping version on here, but I gotta say, because it's not like a real official, like single recorded, I think what I'm gonna do is replace it with a rock song that I think a lot of you will be happy with, and I'd like to get some opinions here. Do you think it was a good substitute? I'm gonna axe Soily in favor of the fan favorite, Girl School. How's that for a rocking balls to the wall track that people love? Then we close off the album with Good Night Tonight, which I think is a perfect choice to close off the album. And that's it. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear your opinion. Thank you very much. Please subscribe if by some chance you haven't already. And I will be talking to you soon. Cheers, everybody.